so kind. I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, fine, I'm fine. It's trying to make sure you're pitching it at the right sort of.
Yeah, well, it's diverse.
Yeah. I know.
You would not believe the politics that go into choosing the songs.
Really? Well, I thought they were great songs.
About Jesus.
Yeah, you can't beat a How Great Thou Art. I tell you, it's a banger.
It's interesting you've been in labour. My husband used to work in labour.
Did he? Whereabouts?
He worked in the Newsbury Hospital there.
Oh yes. Yeah.
And he lived in this lovely place called Snodlands.
Oh yeah, no, Snodland's just up the road.
Oh, yeah,
I know we were there.
yeah, but
I know it's not right.
I hear that mentioned now.
I know.
The hospital's gone now.
Yeah, there's now a big estate there. Welcome everyone. We've got a few minutes. I don't think we're starting till 10:02, so I think we've got a couple of minutes. You're keen. I love this. For the workshop today, we will be doing some group work. So just try and make sure you're sitting with some people, or if that's okay, that would be great. Sorry, I'll come and sit with you if you like. So yeah, I think we're starting at 10:02. I don't know how strict we are to the timetable. Okay. Okay? Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming. If you look on your little timetable, it says Emma Buchan, Everyday Discipleship, continuing the conversation. And earlier on, I was trying to really think through the three areas we've been asked to talk about today. So following Jesus, and as I said, to places I didn't think I wanted to go, growing with Jesus, and really the key lessons and things that have really helped me on my journey. And then the final bit is about living it out. And I wanted to talk a little bit about parenting earlier, but this session, it's really about us as a church. So when we were in Leybourne, we had a toddler group. And it was called Toddler Praise, and it was on a Monday afternoon. And it was wonderful. And Lisa, who ran it, was brilliant. And we had Bible stories and crafts relating to the Bible story and songs, and it was wonderful. But we were like, how are we going to help all these parents who bring their kids grow in faith? What does this look like? So we've only got an hour and a half, and it's pretty messy in toddler group. There's not much time to have serious conversation. So we were really trying to work out what we could do, and we were praying and discerning. And in Leybourne, which is kind of a village, but next to a motorway, there's a travel lodge. In the travel lodge, there was a play area. And the play area wasn't open to the public till midday, so we went and said, could we just have it for a couple of hours on a Tuesday morning? And they were like, we'll buy coffee and we'll use it, but no one else is in there. And they're like, yeah, great. So for years and years, we had toddler praise on a Monday afternoon, and then book club on a Tuesday morning. And book club was for all the parents who wanted to come. The kids would play, happily running around the play area. And we, mums generally, would sit and we would discuss all the different Christian books. So we'd read the book beforehand and then discuss it, but we also did a lot of life together and prayed. So we went through all the Christian classics. So, Hiding Place, Run Baby Run, Brother Lawrence, Jackie Pullinger. We did some Alpha course. We did lots of different things, practice the presence of God. And through this ministry, about 20 mums got confirmed. And it was a really great opportunity because we created a space to allow people to explore faith. The kids were kind of entertained because they had this play area just to play around in, and maybe it's a little bit unique. And then we also used to go on women's, we launched something called Leap of Faith, which was a weekend away, which still happens now, and we take all these women away. Now it happens across the diocese, and we called it Leap of Faith because we used to go to Carity Wood and we used to have to jump off things, whereas now we go to nice, rather middle-class hotels, which is a bit more spa and a bit more my age now versus what I was back then. But what I was really thinking about today, I thought it would be really helpful for us to think about in our context, what are we already doing and how do we help disciple people on the way? What does this look like? What are the opportunities afforded to us? Now, we know a few things. In my role in the National Church, I have to learn a lot about the research. We what's going on, what's the key things it's telling us. And the first thing I'd like to share with you is why people go to church. Why do people go to church rather than just worship at home? Why do they go? Generally, there are 3 reasons why people go to church. And sometimes it's one of them, sometimes it's 2 of them, sometimes it's 3 of them. The first one is experiential. So it could be the high mass, the incense, or it could be the kind of, big worship songs, or it could be the bubble church, which is a kind of church for kids, and the kids are dancing around singing their songs, experientially for them. But experiential is the first reason. The second reason is community. We've all heard it said some people belong before they believe, but they love that sense of community. And the third is intellectual. So people love the sermon. So in COVID, for some people, they would sermon surf. They didn't have to stand up, sit down, turn around, whatever we do in church sometimes, but they could just sermon surf, and actually that's where they got their enrichment from. So when we're thinking about this and we're thinking about children and young people in our church, how are we providing for them? Where are the gaps? So just going back to the toddler group examples, we had toddler praise. How are we going to disciple? We created a space next for that on the Tuesday at book club. So what I was hoping we could do today is just think about our own context for a minute. What are the opportunities that we have? If we were to draw on a big piece of paper, 0 to 18, what are we doing for any of those age groups? And are there holes in the pipe? So what we're finding, who here's been involved in a messy church ever? Okay, quite a significant amount. It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing at reaching unchurched young people and their families. But 3% stay on into teenage years, 3%. So there's all this missional energy, and there's all this missional, all this prayer, and it's an investment in the young people for the long term. But actually, only 3% are saying. So going back to the 0 to 18 pathway, you might have a toddler group, you might have messy church, but what have you got? Where are the gaps in what you're looking at? Because I think if we're going to disciple children and young people, what we do, going back to the why do people go to church, is we're very good actually for children and young people at providing spaces which hit the experiential, the community and the intellect level, and then we stop. Because actually we've used all of our volunteers to get to this point, and what do we do next? So I just wondered if we could come together into groups, spend like 10 minutes talking together about what does the pathway look like for you in your context? Like what activities, or what would you like it to look like? And how can we support one another with ideas about what that next step might be, about those opportunities for discipleship? Does that make sense? So if you come together now, we'll have some music on in the background. We'll probably go to about 10 past, so 10, 15 minutes. Is that okay? Actually, no, maybe to 5 past, just in case I get into trouble for going over. But let's come now, and I'll come and join one of the groups. Is there anyone who'd like me to particularly join them? Okay, I'll come at the back. That's fine. Thank you. Is everyone clear on the questions? Great. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I'd love to come round the tables, if you could choose a spokesperson from each table, to see if there's any wisdom to share with the room. I'm going to start this side. So who is the spokesperson here? Oh, amazing.
What was I asked?
Any wisdom to share with the room?
Any wisdom? Yes. Yes, we do actually, exactly. Offering a listening ear to teenagers who are sitting there and thinking, nobody understands me. That alone can be enough to draw someone to Christ, is showing the love that we have received from Christ to teenagers who are confused, they're developing, they don't know where they fit. And then giving them jobs, responsibilities, letting them have an input, because they're not children anymore. Yeah. They're past they're past messy church, they're past crafts, they don't want that anymore. They want to be an adult, but they don't want to sit in a boring adult sermon.
Yeah.
And it's meeting them where they are.
Yeah. Really
that's our wisdom.
Oh, thank you. I love that wisdom. That's really helpful. Thank you, Lauren. Can I come to you guys next? Who's going? Andrew or Margaret? I see you arguing about who's going to say.
Andrew.
Have we got any wisdom? I'm not sure. We were just talking about different ways in which you can engage young people, and we were talking about how at St Margaret's they come across from the school. And it's brilliant when they ask a really good question, and the head teacher of St Margaret's School is a self-supporting minister, so she goes, yes, they've kindly been listening. So that's kind of good. But then thinking about how you
continue, what happens to them when they then move on to, because we don't actually see, they don't come to our church, unfortunately, a lot of them. So it's how you move them on to the next step.
Have you finished? I don't want to.
Well, I was going to say the other thing at Ipswich Minster where I am is we have loads of young people. We have got about 35 kids in the choir, but what they're not getting is except a little bit more now through the sermon, which they do actually listen to. And funny story, on Sunday, Tom was preaching about the Puritan minister that used to be at that church, and they said, well, that's the best sermon we've heard for a long time, Tom. It's just like insane. So you don't know what they're going to pick up, I suppose. But it's, again, how do you really disciple them? You were talking about them finding prayer and finding, a personal relationship with God in prayer, and how do you do that, I think, is something we all struggle with.
Thank you. Just to give some just some thoughts in this space. So I run a toddler group for an hour. Well, I don't run it. My friend runs it on a Monday afternoon. Funnily enough, we used to do toddler praise together back in the day, in Kent, and they've moved up here. But we realised all the kids were leaving when they went to school, to big school, primary school. So now we run once a month Pizza and Praise, which runs straight after toddlers. And all the kids who used to come with their parents now come along to Pizza and Praise. It was yesterday. And yesterday we were praying together. We had a Bible story together. They ate loads of pizza. The kids love it. I had bought, for the teenagers, I bought some Cheeky Pandas suits. They dress up and they think that's brilliant, and they're teaching all the little ones dances. But I think it's just finding that if you realise people are leaving, or you're not leaving, but you've lost contact with them, how can you re-establish contact? And for me, I have got a ridiculous busy job. I'm sure we're all really busy, but I prioritise that 1 hour a week. Or actually, no, it's not even that. It's 1 hour a month to do Pizza and Praise. Maybe I could do more, but it's a step towards keeping connection. Over to you guys. Who would like to go on this table? Sue.
Thank you. Hello there. Well, we were kind of just talking about, what provisions we could do, thinking of some ideas that we could do for the teenagers. We've got a Sunday school at the moment, but it's sort of all age ranges, which isn't ideal. So we're going to split that up and do an older age range, which will be great. And we're also thinking about maybe doing like a drop-in for students in high school, like after school, pop in for some toast, tea and chat, and just build some friendships and, offer support. And, we're just praying into it at the moment. So it's all kind of thinking, but that's kind of where we are.
That's amazing. And I think one of the things, there's a great thing called Tea and Toast up in Derby, because where the bus drops all the kids off is right outside their church. So they just open their doors on a Thursday and all the kids come in for tea and toast. But they're really intentional about discipleship. So you can come for tea and toast, but also there's also a bit added, which is part of it, which is all about learning about who Jesus is and discipleship. So it's, I'm really happy to share some of their learnings to date with you, but it sounds really similar. But it's going amazingly well, and the kids love it. I know who I'm handing it over to on this table.
We talked about the gaps, and Emma helped us draw like a timeline from 0 to sort of 18, and we noticed there were gaps, teenage gaps. But we were also talking about how not all the teenagers would work well in the same group, because you've got the sort of 16-year-olds plus wouldn't necessarily mix well with the sort of year 7s. There's quite a big difference, isn't there? So we were thinking maybe in an ideal world, we don't have the resources, but we're just praying about it, that we could have 2 groups potentially, and just praying and just simply just saying to God, this is what we want to do. Help us. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's the main takeaway from the conversation today is I don't know if what I said earlier resonated with anyone, but I'm quite a simple person. I think the biggest changes in my life is where I've prayed repetitively, like, God, use me as this life, or teach me to hear your voice, and just keep praying it. So if you're not sure what to do, just keep praying. That's all I can encourage you to do. Just keep praying. God, show us your will, show us your path. If you have got a whiteboard at home or an A3 piece of paper, put it on your wall to just symbolise, like, well, we're doing all this stuff over here. How can we help it all be connected together? How can we have stronger connections? How can we disciple? Whether it's through choir, what does that look like through choir? You know, like, what does that really look like to really help those young people have a living faith? And I think what you were saying about encounter is so important, giving people opportunities just to know that the children have got their own spiritualities, encouraging them to pray and asking God for all things in their life. Thank you. Oh, I've got 5 more minutes. Okay, great. I thought you were telling. Okay, 4. So is there anyone else who'd like? We've got 4 minutes, so I was finished what I was going to say. But is there anybody else who would like to share something in the room? Thank you, Father John.
Thank you very much. I'm in some danger of sounding negative. I like to think I know what to do with teenagers. I was 40 years a scout leader. I was 30 years a school chaplain. There are no teenagers in my parish, full stop. So what do? Do I go and poach them from another parish? Do I go and stand outside the door of Burlington Road Baptist Church saying, come over here, it's much nicer? Because being realistic, things called safeguarding expectations means that I can't actually stand at the door of the church and say, do come in, children.
If anyone's interested, on the National Church website, there's something called Spotlights, which talks about exactly what the demographics are of your parish. And often when people look at it, we're quite surprised. So I think there's a couple of things. If you haven't got any teenagers, well, what's God calling you to do? Is God calling you to get some people within your church to work with the younger generation? I'm not going to tell you, Father John, who God's calling you to work with or not. And if there aren't any teenagers, well, that's not the mission field set out before you. Go on.
But almost every conference I go to, understandably, focuses on young people. So every conference I attend, I come away feeling ever more crushed.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Father John. I think the thing is, as a national church, we're trying to encourage people to represent the communities they serve in every way. If your church is representing the community you serve, then I would feel so encouraged, because there are lots of churches which don't have children, young people. So I would encourage you just to pray and to serve in the community that God has given you to serve, the cure of souls you have.
No. I'm not asking for affirmation. Half the parish by area is car park.
Oh, really? Oh, goodness. I don't know what to do with that. Maybe tea and toast in the car park? I don't know. Is there any other comments from the room at all? Any other comments? Were you putting your hand up? Sorry, I thought your hand went up and down. I wasn't sure.
It was just something about the little ones, reaching the little ones, and just getting something into their lives, because most people that I work with, like when I've done Christianity Explored, they all say, or nearly all of them say, there was something in my childhood that kept with me. I lost it, I went away, but I always knew that I might come back. So be encouraged, really, that every little thing helps. And also equipping people, so if you've only got older people, equipping them to talk to the children in their lives.
That's a really good idea.
Is important.
Yeah, there's a really great resource called Parenting for Faith, which has like grandparenting for faith resources, godparent courses. So I think that's a beautiful point. Thank you. Thank you so much for the time today. And do find me if you've got any other questions, but I'm going to get told off if I don't finish now.